Well, it's not irrelevant. Until we stop the boats, we'll have some cost, whether it's camps or hotels.
Right, but the question is, we're asking about hotels versus camps, and if you want to stop the boats, presumably...
OK, it's interesting that we've got Tim Montgomarie here on the Jeremy Vine show about to be questioned over the fact that the Tories pay billions of pounds to house asylum seekers. How will Tim answer, considering he used to be a Conservative and in fact was the creator of Conservative Home? Of course, now he's thrown his lot in with reform. Well, let's see.
I don't help. Your point is that the camps might be a deterrent, people crossing, if they are not going to be housed in a hotel. And the Conservative government, in fact, signed contracts in 2019 that were due to pay £4.5 billion worth of taxpayers' money to 3 hotel companies over a decade.
And on the Sunday Times Rich List, one of the fastest risers is a guy who provides services to these camps and these hotels. Because it's lucrative for a lot of people. The people that are paying are the British people. And so...
Whoa, wait a minute there, Tim. Remember that the Conservatives made the whole situation worse, alongside Brexit, meaning we have more asylum seekers now. And don't forget that the Tories spent £4.5 billion and left many of those asylum seekers languishing in hotels rather than processing them. And you supported the Tories then. Anyway, listen as Tessa Dunlop takes Tim to task but commits the most patriotic sin in his eyes, that of criticising Britain for past atrocities. Therefore, criticising GB means you must hate it.
Yes, camps. I've absolutely been clear about that. But it's the cost of camps will still annoy people.
Well, I wonder about that. Tessa, what do you think about this? I mean, what Tim is ostensibly saying is that camps will stop people crossing the channel because they're so horrible, as opposed to hotels. Do you think actually that is a deterrent? Or do you think we should be paying for hotels?
Dear Tim, I love the way you weaponised the word British there. British people! They've had enough, us poor British people. Do you know the numbers of asylum seekers we take in this country, relative, in fact, to our European neighbours, but more saliently to countries like Turkey, who have an excuse for putting their asylum seekers in camps because they house millions of asylum seekers because they border countries where there have been conflicts. We are not even beginning to understand what it means to have a serious asylum problem. So let's just own that for a start.
Can I just...
Lucky, I want to say lucky British people. Lucky British people that we don't border the Gaza Strip or that we don't border Syria. Lucky us, privileged us. And how dare we revert to using that word camp, which got us unstuck way back when in 1900, when we shoved Afrikaners and black people in southern Africa into camps and they died in their thousands.
You're talking about Churchill.
We are indeed, not Churchill, this is the Boer War, another war we'd prefer not to talk about. That's when the first time concentration camp was coined as a phrase. And let us just then forward wind much more recently to Bibi Stockholm, another version of a camp where Legionella disease, by the way, because the camps in southern Africa in the Boer War, the reason people died was because of disease. And once again, we had it much more recently, Bibi Stockholm. Do you think that camps
How long are you going to... How long are you going to...
I've not even begun.
No, you haven't.
I've not begun.
Tim, very quickly before we go to callers.
Tessa's knocking Britain all the time.
I'm not knocking Britain, I'm knocking the use of the word Britain.
You knock Britain all of the time. And the fact is, if you add up the contribution that British people pay on overseas aid, defence, around the... We are absolutely committed to abroad. We are actually a very generous nation, even with the cuts, which I oppose.
Well, let's just give some numbers before we go.
Saying that we don't care and that we're somehow worse than other countries is not true.
Click here for some more Reform Reprobates.